house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Nolan Major. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. You're awesome. And if you guys want to join in on the fun and be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Okay, so we have some stuff to talk about because I don't know if you noticed, but the feeds were off all weekend. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Quick review. On Thursday night's show, Dallas was evicted by Dally. And then the feeds went off and then stuff happened. So while the feeds were down, Kelsey was brought back into the house. They decided unanimously to bring her back. I'll get there. Raul won the HOH and he got to pick the have-nots for the week. So he decided on Joel, the brothers, Ramsey, and Maddie. And then they had nominations. Raul nominated Joel and Mitch. And then they also had the power veto, which Jared won. Wow. The trio is just like ruling this crap right now. So the feeds come back on. Jared, Raul, and Kelsey are like on top of the world right now. They were chatting up in the HOH room last night. And Kelsey was telling them about this conversation that she had with the brothers out by the hot tub. And she's like, oh, Phil and Nick really want to work with us. And they're so great. And they just, I really feel like they want to work with us. So she's definitely trying to bridge that gap again. Because that one week that Kelsey was gone, you could definitely see the drifting and the tension between Jared and the brothers. So she's trying to set that back up again. But Jared is still worried that the brothers are targeting him. He probably should be. And Raul is also like, I don't know about those brothers. So anyway, Joel and Mitch were chatting on the green couches, and they're bummed. They're both on the block. Joel is on slop for the third time. It's just not a good situation. And obviously, Jared's not going to use the power of veto. Come on. So they're hoping for some sort of twist or like a secret power veto to save them. Keep dreaming. So then they were just talking about like real life and stuff. It was kind of interesting. But anyway, they aren't really campaigning that much yet. I'm assuming they're going to be waiting until after the power veto ceremony. Honestly, like what are the chances that Jared's going to use it on either of them? But still, you don't really want to campaign too much before the POV because it's taboo. Don't do it. So Maddie and Ramsey have been isolating themselves in a corner on the floor in the have-not room. It's so sad. But it's also really lame. They just like lie down and stare at each other like this far from each other's faces. And it's just like weird and like it makes everyone uncomfortable. And it's really stupid game-wise to isolate yourself like that. It's just not good. So that's happening. But anyway, it was a pretty quiet night last night, I guess because Tim was cleaning, so like there wasn't a lot of fun stuff going on. But he did pull this prank on Phil. He was trying to tell Phil that him and Cassandra are like long lost cousins and like they're only allowed to tell the brothers because they're in like a relative twist situation. And Phil, I think, was actually buying it at first, and then Tim was like, just kidding. So that was kind of fun. But Mitch and Raul were chatting in the HOH room, and Raul put Mitch's legs on his lap, and Mitch did not move them. So I don't know if that was like a strategy thing or what, because like we know that Mitch has a boyfriend. It's just like, what are you doing? But then Raul was rubbing his knee, and it was just like, ah! So this whole conversation was very flirty. But also passive-aggressive. It was weird. So Raul was like, oh, don't hate me after the show. So he was implying that he's like saying all these crazy, possibly like mean things in the diary room to make the show more interesting, more fun. But Raul was telling him like, you're not going home. It's fine. Like, this is going to make us stronger. So Mitch is just like, I'm pretty sure I'm going home, so thank you. But Raul wants Mitch to try to separate the game from their friendship. And Mitch is like, well, I think you're making a big mistake game-wise. Turn page. So then Mitch is trying to explain the whole Levita thing because, of course, Kelsey told him that Levita had an alliance with Mitch and Joel. So Mitch is like, Levita's been out of the game even when she was here. Like, I've never done you wrong. How could you do this? So Raul was just like, sorry. So then Mitch was talking to Ramsey in the bathroom, and we get a little taste of what his campaigning is going to be like. So he's planning on using, like, these laws of probability to explain how Jared, Kelsey, and Raul as a trio will have a 10 times greater chance of winning starting the following week. So he's trying to position himself as like the guy who would take them out, which is kind of ironic because Joel was the guy that did that at first, and that's who he's up on the block against. But I really think this argument would have been useful when they were deciding between Kelsey and Levita who should come back in. Like, I feel like he should have brought this up then. Duh. Also, I feel like this is not a good argument to use on this crowd because it's going to go way over their heads. Half of these people are not even playing. So I think Mitch needs to work on that a little bit. But then he was talking to Nikki about the upcoming vote. He's like, Nikki, we're close. I'm going to need your help after the power of veto ceremony. So he's talking about how he really needs to convince Tim to keep him. Because if you get Tim, then you'll also probably get Cass. And you'll also probably get the brothers. So with Nikki's vote, that's like 4 votes right there. And maybe like there's Ramsey and Maddie and like who knows. So he really needs to get Tim's vote. Okay, so he really wants to sell to Tim how Kelsey and Jared are like the prom queen and king of the house, and like he thinks that Tim is really gonna hate that and he's gonna want to go against that. And Nikki's like, yeah, but Tim, there's a huge difference between what he says and what he does. Oh snap, but it is kind of true. Alright, so this morning there was like a ton of drama. It was crazy. So first of all, there's been some tension between Jared and Cass ever since last week when they were kind of on opposite sides campaigning between Dallas and... who went home? Dallas went home. Dallas and Maddie. Thank you. So I'm not here. So Kelsey was talking to Jared and she was like, you and Cass need to make up. This is ridiculous. So Jared's like, no, I don't care. Cass is catty all the time and I'm so over it. So then Jared was telling Kelsey, like, you need to be nicer to Maddie because she wants to be your friend. And Kelsey's just like, nah. So then Kelsey is talking to Cass about the Jared situation and she's like, Jared is just trying to look out for you. Like, just like, you guys should make up. So Cass is like, no, I don't want to. He's disrespectful. He never listens to me. And he's never going to see things from our perspective. She's tired of all the guys assuming that all the girls are catty. And Cass is always trying to say that she's like the only one that's not catty. Come on, girl. You're like one of the ones leading the charge. Don't be ridiculous. So then Kelsey was talking to Jared and Raul separately about her plans if she wins HOH. So her plan is to nominate the brothers and Cassandra, and the brothers would be the main target, but she's also not happy that Cass and Jared have this negativity thing between them. So I feel like maybe if Cass did make up with Jared, maybe she wouldn't be a potential nominee here, but she feels like the brothers and Cass are selfish players. They're potentially coming after Jared, so she doesn't feel bad about it. Whoa. Alright, so here's where things get really crazy. They had the power veto ceremony this morning, and you think it's just going to be like some run-in-the-mill ceremony, right? Like, Jared does not use the veto as expected, so either Joel or Mitch will be going home on Thursday. But everyone was talking about Mitch's freaking crazy-ass speech. Apparently, it was quite venomous towards Jared, Kelsey, and Raul. He apparently called them, like, the cancer of the house, and he said that Raul was, like, what was the term? A sadist, and, like, horrible, and, like, all these crazy things, and he was like, I don't even like you guys, and blah, 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 and I've had to bite my tongue while you were, like, making fun of other people, and, like, all this crazy stuff. So everybody was talking about this speech. They were like, oh, it was so out of character for Mitch. So, I mean, obviously, he's trying to build this wall up between him and the trio, and he wants everyone to think that he's going to go after them, which I think he would after that scene. But Raul especially was very upset and very hurt because he feels like Mitch was his best friend in the house next to, like, Kelsey. So everybody's freaking out about this speech, but of course, Mitch was talking to Maddie, and of course she loved the speech. She was just like, yes, thank you. I want you to stay. Thank you for calling out Jared, Kelsey, and Raul. They are so freaking fake. Thank you. So Mitch is like, awesome. Thank you for your support. Also, just watch. They're going to try and pull in Joel as their fourth person, and that's going to make their odds even better to win. So, as of this afternoon, Jared, Kelsey, Phil, Cass, and Tim all said to Raul that they were going to be voting out Mitch this week. But it's still only Monday, so anything could happen. The vote is not until Thursday. And Mitch is one of the few people who's actually playing this game, so you never know. But there was some fun today to break the tension. All the house guests gathered in the living room. Big Brother was like, yo, we've heard your complaints in that little complaint box in the storage room, and we're going to address some of them. So first they start playing some of the clips of the house guests complaining, which were pretty funny. And then it was time for some rewards and stuff. So Joel was complaining how there's no basketball net for the pool, so they got one of those, the little floating one. And Nikki wanted some scissors to trim her hair. They gave her these like giant ass scissors that she cannot use. Like they're literally this big. So they're trolling her. So also, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason Joel has to wear this like red and silver superhero costume, and it's like backwards man, so he has to walk around everywhere backwards. I don't know how long he has to wear that, if it's 24 hours or like the rest of the week or what. He's just having an awful week. And then everybody else has to suffer because Cass was complaining that she doesn't get enough airtime or something, or camera time. So then they decided to play clips of Cass on the big TV in the living room, just doing like random crap. So that's fun. But then Tim was like, oh my god, you look so ugly, yet so hot as well. It was really weird. Okay, so now I guess, now that the power veto ceremony's over, it's time to campaign, and I think it's gonna get crazy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love. Edit.